So yeah, Salman, did you watch the Warriors game though last night?
I absolutely did watch the Warriors game last night, Brandon. It was a fantastic game to watch.
Fantastic game. I just wanted to shout out Gary Payton II. I feel like he's one of the best players on the team right now, and I know that's kind of like a hot take,
Yeah.
but
I get that. I get that. You're trying to give confidence to the young players. It's showing promise. He's showing a lot of promise.
He's older than me. Like he's 28 or something.
Yeah, he's been in the G League for a minute because when we were in school, he was playing for Oregon State.
Right.
And for some of those for those who don't know, we went to a school in the South Bay, and Oregon State came to play us. Was Gary Payton there for that game? Were you there?
I don't know if he was there that game. We might have seen him play. You might be right.
Yeah, like Gary Payton, like Oregon State played.
Yeah.
SCU, and it was cool. It was a good game out. We got to see him close up, but he's been bouncing around the G League for a minute. You know what I'm saying? He's been trying to fight for that position, and he's been balling out. Like if you see the G League highlights, he's been going off. He's definitely been going off, and it's really promising to see kind of how this is turning out because he's looking like he's going to be a cemented role player for our organization.
Yeah, I'm really excited, just that the Warriors are able to beat good teams handily without Steph playing well. That just shows a lot about the depth of the team and just how other teams were not really on our level when it comes to playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? Just like sharing the ball and like being selfless when you're playing basketball. I think is really important because it allows everybody on your team to have an impact, and that's what's most effective to win a game. But
yeah, I agree. It is. The Warriors, they are looking good.
Come on, talk to them.
Hey, the Heat are looking good too. So
yeah, they're looking great. They're looking great, and I think it's like the thing is, what I think is turning the Heat on right now is that Kyle Lowry is playing the role that Jimmy Butler played last year, allowing Jimmy Butler to be the killer that he is. Because Jimmy Butler, if you don't know, he was actually like he was pretty much the Swiss Army knife for the Miami Heat. So a lot of the complaints from a lot of fair weather fans that I don't need to mention were essentially saying, man, he's putting up 28, 10, and 10 some games. But some games he's only putting up like 7, 4, 5, and 3, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Essentially stats that aren't impressive. But if you watch the game, he's essentially a game facilitator in these roles, and he's been asked to do different things for the Heat. The difference between last year's Heat and this year's Heat is we had an aging Goran Dragic, who was a score-first point guard, and we transitioned to a game facilitator point guard in Kyle Lowry. And so if you're looking at Kyle Lowry's stats, he's going to have the highest assists on our team, but he's not going to do too much else on the court for us this year. He's not providing the same role for Miami that he is in Toronto, and I am fucking with it. He is allowing Jimmy to thrive. Tyler Hero is thriving. Like, these boys are thriving. Bam is out for some games, and it's not mattering. Like, these boys are going to work. And I'm excited. I think Kyle Lowry is the difference. And you get a defensive presence, a point guard that can guard on the block. Like, a lot of unseen things is popping. It's popping for Miami right now. I see a lot of promising things in the future. And so I will say to the Bucks, watch the fuck out. Like, you saw what happened the first regular season meeting, that you will get got. Yeah. If you come at us sideways, so you gotta be prepared to play us.
That's a regular season game, Solomon. You're tripping.
Absolutely. I completely understand.
I was like, that is
I understand that.
Cap. That was the most cap.
I get that. I totally get that. Giannis is amazing. Like, the Bucks are still going to be one of the threatening forces in the league. Honestly, even though the Western teams are a bit more balanced, I still see like the top East teams beating out the top West teams, and it doesn't look close to me currently. It doesn't, personally.
KD on a tear. Don't even need Harden. Hasn't been really playing too well, but they don't even need it.
No, that's because Harden, like Damian Lillard, needs to adjust to the new rules.
Oh yeah. It's hurting them.
It's hurting both of them.
Trae Young. Well, I think
Trae
Young. Yeah. Yeah, it's not working out for him at all. And like I agree with that. Like I feel like you shouldn't be able to initiate contact like or lean into somebody to create a foul. Like that's like if someone's
It
straight
shouldn't
up
be
and
a
you
foul
just
if you
happen to
initiate contact straight up.
yeah. So I agree with the rule change. Like players got to be it's exposing players like Harden, who's primary, like probably half of his points each game comes from the free throw line. Like it just exposes that, and now it shows like maybe they really will need Kyrie. They need to make up they need to figure out a way to get that loophole going to get Kyrie on the floor.
Well, they got a new mayor in New York.
You think that'll change anything?
He's a black dude. I think his name is Eric Adams or something like that. And it might. He's saying that he's going to meet with unions and he's going to have a definitive answer, because there's a lot of disputes with unions in New York about this mandate. So he's going to have like a meeting or a sit down with these unions, and he says, I'm for sure going to come out of that meeting with a definitive answer. And so people are interpreting that as he's going to lift the mandate.
Okay.
If like, if a union is against it. So
gotcha.
That means that Kyrie can play in New York. You know what I'm saying?
I get that. No, if that means that'll be big.
Yeah,
that'll for sure be big.
But I think he has to like get sworn in, so that won't happen till January or something.
Gotcha. All right. That'll be interesting.
Yep. But I guess on that note, this is the Mostly Bullshitting podcast.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Solomon.
And this is the weekly catch up with 3 former college roommates. We get together, we talk about sports, politics, life, news, tech, everything. But we're mostly just bullshitting. And so we always start every week with Mike. He always comes with a great topic. Mike, what you got for us today?
So I know I usually come with like a serious topic or like something to like have a deep conversation about, but this week I'm coming with the bullshit.
Come on, we needed this, Mike.
So I was in the car and I was listening to the radio, and "Best Friend" by Sweetie and Doja Cat came on, and one of Doja Cat's bars was, something about when she pull up, she don't need a key or something like that, meaning that her car is push to start. And I just thought about that. That is probably one of the most overused bars in rap, and it's not even a flex anymore. Like, if your car is newer than 2015, you probably got to push to start. Like, it's not. Like, yeah, in 2011, that was crazy. But now,
shout outs to you for living in the present, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the song came out in 2021. You should have 2021 bars.
Fucking hilarious.
So that brought my topic of what other lines in rap are.
Oh my god! Wow.
Wow.
And need to stop being recycled.
What other bars?
Man, it's just like the thing is, I can't think of the bars off the top of my head, but it's always about like
I gotta
the
listen
flash,
to
the come up. I gotta get it on my own. I had to.
I knew it would be hard to come up with those, so I pulled up Reddit.
Come on.
and I got a couple, and we got a list.
Let's go. We need to hear it.
Of course, so the other top bar is something about, getting good brain. She got a good education, or something about being smart. That line is used probably in 20% of rap
smart
music.
Girls who's supposed to be on a roll.
Yeah.
Come on.
So yeah, see, shit like that. Let's see what else is on this list. Let's see. There's a couple other ones. All right. Bear me next to just having 2 bad bitches, like
synchronized.
Or I feel like Wayne. I think Wayne was the first to use that line.
Hey, wait.
Wait, has that been used multiple times? Wayne is the only person I know that used that.
No, definitely not. I was just
I've
making.
never heard of synchronized swimming.
Definitely not.
2 girls for sure, but synchronized swimming, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, 11 hip hop cliches that need to die. Like,
yo, I'm down.
oh, something about like,
I gotta get on my mega shit.
oh,
This is
the other one, something like basketball bars. So something like a ball like Curry, ball like Kobe, ball like LeBron.
Oh yeah, no. Name dropping basketball players is just the most well known
keyboard
like thing to do. Like that's why I appreciate like some of like the rappers who essentially like call out like the no name, like not no name, but like super obscure names in basketball. Like Smino rapped over Antetokounmpo. That was hard. I fucked with it. So did Drake though.
Yeah, so I do like Jack Harlow has some good basketball bars that I respect, that are a little bit different. Like he had one, now I'm on like Shumpert. That's different. Like, you know, a little bit wordplay, not just like simple, just saying using a simile for basketball. So that's a respectable line.
Good. Play on words.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think my personal favorite, I think referencing a basketball player is probably fucking Wale off of More About Nothing. There was a song, I forgot what song it was, but he said, I turned ducks into bucks, Luke Ridnour. And I was like, nah, I get it. Nah, he was on the Oregon Ducks, went to the Milwaukee Bucks. Luke Ridnour.
Yeah, clever. I mean, I guess it's a bar, but yeah, nobody's.
I mean, ducks into bucks is also another pun.
Oh yeah. You
see that? Yeah.
That's clever.
He had to layer it. Come on. You gotta have double meanings.
Oh, here's another one. Playing chess, not checkers.
Oh,
that's used often.
Yeah. That just means, hey, I'm smarter than you in just so many words in the stupidest way ever.
Calling other rappers their sons.
For sure. I think that's actually the most common in the past couple years. Saying everybody's my son.
Yeah. Oh, also, something about being vegetarian, you don't want beef.
Yeah.
But yeah,
for sure. Definitely heard that one a couple times too.
But yeah, those are just a couple of overused rap lines. So we don't have to stay on that for too long, but maybe we can discuss some of our like favorite rap lines of all time. I know it's a lot, but like a lot, like hard to think about off top, but yeah.
Because I don't want to come out saying no bullshit, you know what I'm saying? This is documented on paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Visual. I mean, obviously virtual paper. But still, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate a lot of Lou lyrics. I think he's really descriptive, and it's like kind of lyricism, paints a picture really well, and has like a lot of good what's it called? Kind of wordplay too. Like I actually like spend time just watching Lupe Fiasco like lyric music videos, where essentially like, for all my fans out there, just check out the Mural lyric video by Lupe Fiasco. It's really fucking tight. Just gives you like a visual depiction of the narration, the masterpiece that is. Top 5 lyricists, dead or alive, Lupe Fiasco. Obviously, personal opinion. You can take that how you.
My favorite obscure rapper is Big L. I think that would.
Yo. Oh my god. All right, Mike. Now it's time to say MF Doom.
MF
Doom. Sure, I'll throw him in there. Yeah, MF Doom. You know who like, and I'm ashamed to admit it that I like listened to somewhat a little bit back in the day.
Eminem. It's okay. You can say it.
No, not Eminem. Oh. I also listen to Eminem, but y'all are gonna laugh at me. But Hobson.
Oh, bro.
That's even worse.
Yeah. I don't know why, like I had a phase where like I was listening to Hobson, but like
I
looking
think
back
he was
at
cool
it,
for like 2 YouTube music videos, and then I thought he was kind of weird.
yeah, it got pretty weird. But
I feel you. I feel
I
you.
guess that's my obscure rapper to throw into the mix.
I love how we just made this.
Or instead of Big L, I won't disrespect Big L by putting him in the same category as Hobson and Lupe.
Get the fuck out of here. Lupe is standing on his own.
Another rapper I'll throw in is Daylight. I'll throw in Daylight.
Wow, this is nuts. I don't like this. I don't want to loop Lupe Fiasco.
I wouldn't put Lupe as an obscure rapper. Like
absolutely not. Brandon, we're disrespecting him.
Or like a Earl Sweatshirt bar or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Earl
Sweatshirt would be a good classic albums that he like. What are we talking about here? He's not obscure. Does? Yeah,
I guess so.
That's not even. That's not like debated. Like Drake has 2 debated classic albums. Lupe doesn't.
I don't know. I feel like Lupe is a bigger debate than the Drake album.
I feel you. That's popular. That's your opinion. I get it.
Yeah,
shit.
Maybe
Lupe cemented.
Okay, for sure.
Just gotta put it out there.
I don't care what you guys say. Face my guy.
Yo. And for all you who don't know, November 19th, in San Francisco, Lupe Fiasco will be performing, and I will be there. Performing Liquor, a classic album.
I'm like, why does Solomon know this? Oh, because he'll be there.
Because I will be there.
Yeah, so if you want to run into Solomon, that's what he'll be. November.
Yeah, for real.
Check him out. You want to meet and greet with Solomon?
Yo, for real. Yo, podcast meet up.
The Warfield or some shit.
It's probably the Warfield. I will have to check. We will do another one in the VIP section of Dayton Vegas, where you can see me and Mike. I can't promise
I'll be nowhere. You will not be able to...
Yeah, for real. They will not be there for obvious reasons. Yo. Oh man. All right.
Anyway, we can move on.
I'm with it. Moving on.
So next, I guess we'll go to my topic. I was going to talk about Henry Ruggs. So my guy fucked up and did something really stupid. Like driving 2 times over blood alcohol limit.
And 2 times the speed limit.
2 times speed limit.
Probably like quadruple time the speed limit. Like, was he on the freeway?
Oh, he was probably on residential. I think he was on residential. I'm not sure if he was on freeway or residential.
I think he was at a residential. And
yeah, because like someone said, like even if you cut the speed he was going 156 miles per hour in half, he was still speeding. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, so he hit somebody that was like stopped. Swerving, killed him instantly. It's all.
I actually heard it wasn't instant.
I thought it was instant.
There was reports from the eyewitness, I think, who reported that it was there was an eyewitness who reported hearing the victim alive while the car was burning. And could not help because of the way the car was bent, and which is just like it's like literally a horrifying account of the event.
Yeah, and by the way, we should get her name. Her name was Tina Tenter. Like when I first saw that like trending, like I didn't know what it was. Like I thought someone was like trying to talk about Tina Turner or something, but
and her dog.
And her dog. But yeah, very sad and tragic event. I also heard like during the interaction, like he was very like belligerent when the cops came, like was very uncooperative, which I mean, he's drunk. So like, I mean, that's, I guess, to be expected, but this kind of makes you wonder, like, how do people get into that situation where they start to like drunk drive, especially if you're rich. You can obviously afford whatever chauffeur service you need to get home. Like So it's weird. I guess you're young, probably just got his check, was feeling invincible, and tragedy.
Yeah,
I was
because
I would stop driving, bro. Honestly.
yeah, for real. I mean, it's ruined your life. I was reading like some of the comments on some of these stories, and one of the commenters was someone who had committed a DUI, and what he says is it's really hard to blame Henry Ruggs in the moment because he was at like apparently at a Top Golf or something before he came home, but it's like it's hard to blame someone who's blacked out um about picking up keys and driving home. No, and let me explain why. This is the guy is saying that the real decision is the sober decision he should have made by like driving to the location, because a lot of people are not thinking. You know what I'm saying? When you're blacked out, like to say like a character of judgment, like Henry Ruggs was out of character and out of judgment. If you say that you are the person you are when you are blacked out, I think it's like a lie. Like you can't say that that represents the entire version of you, but the sober version of you should be a pretty accurate representation of what your decision making is. And so basically what the comment essentially was saying was, if you know you're about to be blacked out, the real fuck up was picking up the keys and leaving the house, because you're not going to call an Uber on the way back if you drove there.
Sure. I see that and I get that. But it's also like, I don't know who, like obviously he was out there with somebody too.
I think wasn't there someone, nobody was in the passenger?
I was with his girl or something.
I didn't want to say that, but I think from some of the reports I heard his girl was in the passenger.
It was just like a date they went on to Top Golf, and like that. Can you really get that fucked up at Top Golf? Like, I feel like it's just like a beer type of place.
I just
never been to Top Golf.
I personally got that fucked up at Top Golf last Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, for me, I actually didn't start drinking at Top Golf. I had pre-game Top Golf. And then when I had gotten to Top Golf, all I needed was about 2 or 3 shots and a beer or 2. And that's going to get me there. 1,000.
But yeah, no, like you just gotta like, I feel like that's 100% his fault. Like
it is. Oh no, I have no sympathy.
Yeah, no, like you gotta know yourself, know that you can get that drunk, and if you know that if you can get that drunk, or if you're planning, like Solomon said, to get that drunk, call an Uber. I mean, you got like dollars, bro. It's just I don't get that. I don't get why if you're trying to turn up, I don't get why you're driving. If you're trying to turn up, like, and you have millions of dollars, that makes 0 sense.
0 cents.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, and like the NFL even has like a chauffeur service, like if that you can like utilize. I think
you can use the security guards if you really need to. Like the team will give you the security guards if it's really that crazy. It's
yeah,
like,
it's a really unfortunate situation, and I mean I don't want to like speak to a trend, but I think what you see sometimes in young players who come into money is they'll make reckless decisions because of a changing environment that they're not familiar with, especially a young 21-year-old in Vegas, with even more like temptations, desires, whatever you can put forth. Like sometimes it's difficult for some of these like younger players to navigate through life without the proper guidance. And
I think it's just I hope it's a lesson to anybody as you get older and as you get more and more, opportunities and privileges and advantages. You gotta be smart. You gotta play the game smart. You can't do the childish shit you was doing before.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah.
Regardless whoever he is, like just the fact that, I mean, like he could have been anybody, but it's just the fact that you have that and you're still making those decisions. Like we can't be doing that type of shit. That can't be. That can't be us in the news. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. I think it's crazy. Like, how did he survive? Like, to be going that fast, like that impact, like the force is opposite but unequal. So like that's a
Was
like
it was it a Tesla X?
oh, it's like, oh, it's just equipped with, I thought he was driving like a Corvette or something, but
I don't
like
know.
but so I
car.
guess damn, Tesla really has that great of a crash report. Like that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we might actually have to, in this really horrible story, we might actually have to give a car advertisement.
Yeah, Tesla might get a plug. Let's see. No, it was a Corvette.
Okay.
Yeah.
So American made.
Yeah. But like, let's make sure, like, where was the impact? Like he must have like hit her, like, and maybe no one was in his passenger seat, but like just the way the impact must have happened, like it just seems like he should have gotten way more, at least injured, than what it seemed like. It seemed like he came out with just like a neck brace, like out of it.
Probably just for whiplash.
He was in a wheelchair too, right?
Okay, so yeah, maybe he broke a couple bones, but like, yeah, like to be going that fast, like it's amazing that he even survived. So I guess that's just I guess he's just gonna, I guess it's just, he's got to live with what he did. That's his punishment. Instead of death is living his life in jail, with his mistake, realizing that he ruined his entire life, off of some dumb shit. I don't know if that's a better punishment than death, but like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't actually think he's going to be in jail as long as most people think.
Yeah, Vegas has like some crazy laws.
Vehicular manslaughter, I don't think is going to be that heavily charged for. From what I've seen in the past, I think the one thing that they like might get him for is the possession of a legal handgun, as well. That was in the car, because from what Gersh mentioned to me, for those who don't know, Gersh is my roommate. He mentioned that another NFL player had a similar situation. Donta Stallworth was an NFL player who pleaded guilty to a DUI manslaughter after he struck and killed a construction worker in Miami Beach, Florida. And he only actually served 30 days for that.
For real? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
I would like, what is our justice system, bro?
I don't expect him to serve that much time for this, but I mean, there probably a lot for the gun, for sure, like Solomon said. But
I just don't know like the gun laws in Nevada. You know,
I don't either, but he probably will serve a lot of time for that,
but he'll
definitely get out.
He will.
He's not in jail for the rest of his life. He'll definitely
1,000%
and be able to live
not rotting at all
afterwards. But it's just what he does with himself after that. You know, it's gonna be real. Man, I don't know. Man, it's fucked.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's crazy though to me, that like he'd serve more, like that he could potentially serve more time because of the gun charge than killing somebody.
Probably.
Like, man, I don't know what's up with our justice system, but that's just, I mean, we've been known it's fucked.
I don't think we value life too much. It's kind of what it's showed us. We're pretty like we're all about kind of death, war, and slavery. It's kind of what America is built on, along with some other, you know, lucky timing things that just happened to happen at the right place. But
what is luck?
Man, it's just, yeah, luck is, I'm misbranding luck. I'm truly misbranding luck. It's more manipulation. Let me call it what it is.
It's preparation and opportunity. Opportunity will always arise, but you gotta be prepared. And that's what
for sure. Yeah, exactly. Most of that was Industrial Revolution of World War II.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so yeah, instead of getting into a historical lesson and boring all of our listeners, why don't we move on to the next topic, because I'm truly really excited about this topic, mostly because this is my space to talk to you guys, because of the three of us, there are no Lakers fans in the building. of my friends, I know a lot. And I think we'll be able to have true and honest discussions and unbiased discussions to talk about the Lakers and where they are in reality today. So as we are about 2 weeks into the season, about 7 games in, how do you guys feel about the championship contender Lakers?
You said what?
Oh, sorry. What I meant to say was the Lakers
Los
were
Angeles
considered a
Lakers.
championship contender 2 weeks ago. What I meant to say is, what do you guys think about the previously thought of championship contender Lakers?
The Los Angeles Lakers, yes.
The Los Angeles Lakers, yeah.
I mean, I always have like a hard time like thinking that team would work, just because like the Lakers just over the past few years, like they just don't have like knockdown shooters. Like, and like it's proven that that's a requirement for this league, is to have somebody that you can kick it out to and know they're going to hit the shot. But, you know, you have LeBron and Russ, 2 ball dominant players who generally aren't known for their 3-point shooting, especially not Russ. And it's just not going to work. They're not going to be able to keep up shooting 2s against 3s. And like with Russ, like I hate to say, I mean, he's an extremely gifted athletic player. But I mean, if you look at the stats and the plus minuses, like he is always like in the negative when he's on the court, no matter what kind of numbers, or he's usually in the negative, no matter what kind of numbers he puts up. So it's going to be tough for the Lakers to win games, but I think they still have time to get it together and figure out each other, because Melo seems to be playing pretty well. And the rest of them just kind of got to gel and figure, the rest of the role players just got to figure out what their role is and how they can be effective.
Sure. What I would ask is, I think there are some role players currently for the Lakers that are out. I think most notably is THT. Do you guys think like the addition of the role players will impact kind of the, I guess, structure of the way that the Lakers are playing now, or is it just that the structure itself is not working?
No.
Yeah, I mean, THT is just another. He's another example. Like he's another example. He's a around the rim type player. Like they need knockdown shoot. I mean, they got Malik Monk, but like they don't even like play him that much. I haven't seen too many of the games, but I feel like they don't even play him that much.
Kent Bazemore is playing minutes and Avery Bradley is playing minutes.
So like when like so when you think Avery Bradley and Kent Bazemore, like you don't think knockdown shooter necessarily. Like when you think of them, like they can hit the 3, but like you trust them to hit that.
No, they're 3-and-D guys in my opinion, and they're not necessarily. They're more defense than 3.
They're supposed to have Kendrick Nunn coming back though too.
True, yeah, and Kendrick Nunn, like I really like Kendrick Nunn. I think for the Heat to let him go it's just unfortunate, but it was just, I think Kendrick Nunn just needs patience because of his injury history. He's just had a really hard struggle through the past 2 years. His rookie year was amazing, and the 2 years since, it's been kind of off and on. And so I think he can be a good answer, but what he is not is a knockdown shooter. He is a good facilitator in a second unit, but they already have Rondo. So it begs to differ, like in terms of like the compatibility with the team, where the role players would fit in this offense, and does it truly create an impact? Because the big boys are here and they're playing.
The Lakers have had a very favorable schedule. Once that changes, they will be exposed.
But I feel like too, the Lakers usually like play to their competition. So like, you know, they've been in some close games with some not so great teams, but I also feel like I don't think they're necessarily going to get blown out by the good teams, because they do, like defensively, I feel like just size wise, like they'll match up decently against
anyone.
Like, yeah, against anyone. Yeah, but like,
I feel like
I don't think they'll get blown out. I think just off their like like I said, they play to their competition. Like Russ is that type of player too, I think, where he's not gonna let anybody outwork him. Let's put it that way.
I guess
that's fine. They'll still be making more shots.
True, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I also think LeBron will take more of a scoring role, like in those games. So like, I don't think it'll be blowouts. Like they'll compete. Let's put it that way.
Can I ask a question really quickly? And I just want to get a gauge, just to see like, where do we see like Braun in terms of this year? Like, if we were able to like theoretically, like, not recognize the entire rest of history, pull this season out of like an archive, like 5 years down the road, where do you think we'll see LeBron as it relates to like MVP related statuses? Is he going to be like, how, like, because what we see is he's being a facilitator, he's scoring, it seems like he's attempting to do everything for this team, but it's not necessarily working out on a nightly basis. It seems like there's some games where he's not, like, obviously. And the thing is, I want to preface this by saying, I know that Braun is not necessarily exerting full force, just like a lot of the superstars are in the NBA. But it seems like for the Lakers, they're actually going to need him a lot more than a lot of other good teams need their superstar. And I'm only going to just quickly reference the Warriors game last night. Steph had a ridiculously bad night. And they were able to kind of come together, have bench scorers. They had, guys off the like starting lineup go to work. LeBron has AD, but outside of AD, are there any like impact players that we can see take over a game? Like, can we see Russ take over games for the Lakers this year?
Carmelo can, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, in terms of leaning on a player, like.
Carmelo
I've never seen. I think
everybody.
I think that's the problem is like with Russ is that, like he'll have dominant stats, but like it doesn't happen when you need it to happen. And like I said, like in this day and age, you got to be able to shoot the three. Like you got to be a threat from there, because now like teams, all they have to do is pack the paint against the Lakers, really.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll take that risk of leaving Kent Bazemore open.
Yeah.
If
if
that means stopping Russ from scoring in the paint or stopping LeBron from getting to the paint, like, and that, I think that's the Lakers' number one problem. They just need, instead of Russ, like I feel like if they got like a shooting point guard, like if they had Dame, it'd be lights out. Or if they had like,
you heard that they spoke, right?
Yeah, I mean, that happens every season. They're talking to some all-star point guard, but even if they had like a Trae Young or I think Kyle Lowry would probably work pretty well on the Lakers. But yeah, too late. They just need a point guard that can, a more perimeter-based point guard.
But they've already invested. They pulled the stops. Like, we're not. I don't think trades are really kind of a discussion point anymore. It's more about the big three is here. Like, honestly, we consider it a big four almost. But like,
I mean, this is for sure what they get. But I
was just gonna say, it's so hard for me to understand. Like, how does this team get better? We already see the lineup. Like, come playoffs, it's going to be a pretty tight, rotation. Outs like of the people that are not playing currently, I think we're only going to see THT in this playoff rotation. And I think we see the entire like playoff rotation playing for the Lakers right now. Unless I'm missing someone. Like, please let me know if I'm missing someone on the Lakers that will likely be on the
Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, he'll be on there.
The playoff rotation for sure.
For sure, for defensive purposes, I get that.
Trevor Ariza is enough. Like, he can. I think Trevor Ariza can transition into the knockdown shooter role. I mean, he's been a decent shooter throughout his career. So like, he
got to shoot like over 45% from three. To be the guy that you're talking about, Mike.
Which I mean, I think it's possible. Like he's older in his career. Like a lot of players do that, where they transition their game to be more just shooting based than in the paint.
So he can be chasing guards and hitting those threes at the same time at his age,
Yeah.
at his old age.
Hope his conditioning's up.
For real. That's probably what he's doing right now. That's probably what he's doing right
running.
now.
That's all you got to do is run and shoot.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he's not playing. He's just getting his conditioning up.
Yeah.
And the Lakers, like their record isn't that bad right now. They're sitting number 4 in the West right now. Bad. Like it's just their game. They don't look good. They haven't when played they're
anybody, bro.
They don't. Yeah, they don't look.
They've been playing trash teams and they look terrible.
I mean, they played the Warriors. The Warriors and so they have 3
L's.
3 L's, but like the Warriors and Suns, those are 2 pretty. They're not horrible teams. Like those are good. Like the Suns were in the finals. But what I'm saying is like they weren't blowouts though. Like the games were like manageable. Like so. Sure. And like the Warriors game was literally their first game playing. I mean, like as a whole team, like full season. Like
who did they beat? They beat the only team that they beat that's any good, that's halfway decent, is Memphis. But that's no Dylan Brooks.
Still a run stopper.
I'm just saying.
I mean, so we'll see how this. So they got the Thunder today. That should be an easy dub.
Super easy.
But saying, like it'll probably be a close game.
Who have they played and who they actually beat? They beat the Cavs, Rockets twice, and the Thunder.
So they got a pretty tough. Yeah, after the Thunder, they got a pretty tough or somewhat decent schedule. So they're gonna have the Trailblazers, Hornets, Heat.
Blazers have not been playing well.
Yeah. Timberwolves and Spurs again. Bulls. I like the Bulls this year.
I like the Bulls.
Yeah, but then they play the Bucks. So like I guess the Bucks will be their true test.
For sure. I don't trust DeMar. I mean the Bulls are good, but I don't trust DeRozan. And he's their go-to team. I don't trust him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the thing is, DeRozan has been going off for the Bulls. If you've been peeping, like
he has. But in those close game situations, he always comes up short.
That is true, and that's something we will see with this new team as it comes. But I don't know. It's a new start. I don't want to just write them off just yet.
Yeah, but like looking at the West this year, they're not really looking that strong.
As strong as they used to. Like
the Powers transitioned to the East.
I mean, I think there's still more stars in the West.
And like, okay, so we're shitting on the Lakers, but Brooklyn also has the same record.
Brooklyn's not that great either this year.
Yeah.
I mean, has their team really obviously Kyrie is huge, but I mean, they still have it's still Kevin Durant. I mean, James Harden's not playing his best, but I mean, still James Harden. You still have your same bench. Like we were talking about that earlier. How
they lost. Who they lose? They lost.
Dinwiddie's not on Dinwiddie on the bench still?
No,
Dinwiddie's on Washington.
Washington. Okay. He didn't play at all last year.
Yeah, I get that.
The people who played last year are like Shamet and
Joe Harris already in the lineup.
Joe Harris is there.
Yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge was last year. He kind of left and came back.
He's back. He's playing pretty well too.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
I mean, I don't think the Nets are playing that well either. I mean, like with Kyrie, they're on that's another level. But without Kyrie, like KD has to play like ridiculous for them to be like a super competitive team in my opinion.
Yeah. But with the Nets, there is a potential for Kyrie to join that team, and we know once Kyrie joins that team, we know what they're capable of.
Then it's over.
It's game over. I think the difference between the Nets and the Lakers is we're seeing what the Lakers have. We see their cards. Like we're supposed. I mean, it's early in the season. I mean, we don't want to overreact. We don't but it's just not promising. Like you definitely need to get into a groove. It might take some time for the older dudes to get into that groove, I guess. But I was trying to check like the offensive and defensive ratings. Like in the offensive ratings, they're in the middle of the pack, but defensively is essentially where they need to shore up. And that kind of speaks to like the conditioning, the age. And so, like if Trevor Ariza and THT and Kendrick Nunn like young guys can, well, not young, Trevor Ariza is not young, but like those guys can go out and go get it. Like maybe we'll see a transition. So people aren't scoring like a shit ton of points on the Lakers, because from what I'm seeing, the Lakers, like these scores on the Lakers, it's actually kind of high. Like I'm seeing like 120 games, like 118 games, and it's like pretty frequently. I would say,
Yeah, like the Spurs shouldn't be putting up 121
yeah,
against
you shouldn't. You shouldn't see
like
that.
neither Cavs shouldn't be putting up 100
Yeah,
points
and
against
that
you.
that kind of makes me believe it's more of a
Neither should the
defensive
Rockets.
thing.
Damn.
It's more of a
They're
defensive
such a
thing.
team.
So let's hold off. Let's see what happens when these role players fill in, because I guess we may be misinterpreting how big of an impact that these role players will have defensively.
I do think I think we're over. I mean, they're tied for third in the West, which isn't a bad position.
Sure.
So
yeah.
like it's just like watching them play.
Probably
don't
playing
look good.
I was gonna say like
haven't
they probably had the
anybody.
easiest first 7 schedule. That's what I kind of want to put in there. Like I don't want to jump to that conclusion, but saying they more than likely had a in terms of difficulty of schedule, bottom 10 in terms of difficulty.
I mean, okay, so they're playing the Warriors, who are tied for number 1. They played the defending conference champs.
Okay, let's talk about them as they are currently standing, Mike.
They lost to the Thunder, who is the worst team.
You see how you're phrasing this shit, Mike? We're talking about the Warriors this year, but we're talking about the Suns last year. Let's talk about either this year or let's talk about last year. Let's talk about this year.
He's
the Suns. The Suns aren't good. The Suns are a 3-3 team this year. The Suns are a 3-3 team this year. Let's talk about it. Like let's talk. Like that's
He's
a 3-3
moving the
team.
goalpost.
All right. So like, all right. So then, like, even if we're talking about like Warriors last, like, so. Like, so what's the difference between Warriors this season and last season?
Jordan Poole.
Okay, Jordan Poole is playing way better.
Mike is a Lakers fan.
I'm
just trying to play
defending
devil's
his LA
advocate.
citizens
Mike
as
is a
he's
Lakers
no
fan now.
longer a Clippers
Like,
fan.
I'm just trying not to.
I'm just good. Michael's a Clippers
I'm just not
fan.
trying to overreact and say that
Thanks
like,
for providing the balance. I appreciate
it's blouses for the Lakers. Like it's a brand new team that they put together. Like
we're trying to find points of concern. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to identify them.
And I've identified, and I agree with the concerns. I pointed out that Russ may not be the best fit on the team for what they need.
I'm straight up telling you that they're a playing team right now.
They're a what?
They're a playing team. I'm telling you that right now.
That is hilarious. I mean, the thing is,
put them at like 4 or 5.
I'm gonna put them at 5.
I'm putting them at 7 or below.
All right.
So you think name the 6 teams that are better than them then.
All right, let's do it.
In the West?
In the West.
In the West. Okay. Let's start with the number 1 team. Come on.
Dub Nation.
Dub Nation, bro. Let's put that bitch on there.
Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz will definitely be better.
Phoenix Suns.
Absolutely.
The Mavericks.
Okay, that's 4. Denver.
Denver.
That's 5.
When is Jamal Murray?
Who's the 6th?
Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, Memphis too. I would say
Memphis and the Clippers.
Memphis
leading the Lakers in 8th.
Yep.
Let's go. Oh man, hey,
I don't
go to LA for the
Memphis.
playing game. That'll be hype.
I'm down.
Let's get the shit popping. We'll record a podcast from there once we get the predictions right.
Damn, so Portland doesn't even make the playoffs this year then, huh?
Oh, for sure not.
No.
Damn.
I don't think so. Like Dame's had better teams in prior seasons from what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dame's not playing well, so if he plays better, maybe everybody else will play better. But he gets a little more attention. But I don't know. He got played better.
Yeah, it seems like for me, Nurk is not the same dude. I mean, CJ is still playing at that same level. But like, has he really like? I would say it's been a more continual progression. It's like a slow, steady progression. But I don't think we see any breakout years from CJ anytime soon. I think this is essentially the type of player he's going to be, that supporting number 2 guy. I mean, we may see him turn into a different player under a different situation, but not under this situation. Yeah, Nurk is their only next best player. We got Norman Powell. Norman Powell is actually solid. He's like their X factor, but he's the guy that needs to take the step this year for Portland.
He's not. He's a specialist. He's a 3-and-D guy. That's all he is.
But he can put up points. He can put up points though.
But what you're asking him to do, Solomon, is put the ball on the floor. I don't think he's that kind of guy to do the consistently.
And that's what Portland will have to figure out this season.
He's an undersized small forward.
He is.
No.
But he knows how to play. He knows how to play D well. So I think even though
if you're asking him to put the ball on the floor, he has to know how to shoot over people. I don't think he knows how to do that consistently enough. Like he doesn't have no post game.
Yeah, I don't really know Norman Powell's offensive game like that.
No, he's good. I like how he plays. He plays hard. He plays tough.
Mm-hmm.
He's really smart IQ wise, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
He can't play back to the basket, so that's not what you need in a small forward.
A small forward doesn't necessarily need to put their back to the basket in today's game. They don't. They do not. They can sit in the corner and space the floor, especially if you have a team like CJ and Dame. You know what I'm saying? And they're always playing high up in the backcourt. You're always going to need someone sitting in that corner. I mean, offensively, I don't think there's a true issue. I think Portland's issue has always been defensively. It's always been defensive.
If you don't have a wing that knows how to play a post game, I mean, this is a 2 or 3, and then you're struggling out here. I don't know.
I mean, but like the thing is, even though CJ doesn't have a post game, he still has like a dribble and pull up game that can essentially substitute.
CJ definitely has a post game.
Yeah. So it's like the 2 or the 3 needs to do that. It doesn't necessarily like. I mean, but yeah, I get it. For Norman Powell to step up, he might need to add that to his game. But
that's what I'm saying. CJ's fine, but you're asking Norman Powell to step up. So like that's different.
True, I am. It's just like because I don't see CJ stepping up. That's the reason. I just don't. I've seen CJ. I've seen him play over the years. I know what he can do. I feel like I have a good idea of what he's capable of. And so I don't think I'm seeing much more else kind of going forward.
Right. Now CJ has a little post game, but he can only post up so many people.
Exactly.
That's my point. But I mean, we can start talking about basketball. I mean, I feel like we need more games in order to really have a real discussion about these players and these teams. So we'll just leave it at that for now. What we've learned today is that Mike is a Lakers fan. He's on whatever LA team.
Well, at the very least, a neutral LA fan. Yeah, at the very least,
whatever LA team is doing well, that's the team Mike's rocking with.
But I mean, according to you guys, the Lakers suck. So like, why? Like, how am I a supporter?
They're doing better than the Clippers, aren't they, Mike?
I mean, Kawhi's ACL is fucked. So like, I mean, that's
ruined my my fandom. I couldn't do it once Kawhi got hurt.
I get it. Totally get it. I would jump ship too if I was
right. For real.
I see the thing. I feel like
Never mind.
You can have.
You really want me to put my trust in Paul George? Like,
no, not really. Mike, but
good,
you know,
Mike. We're done teasing you. It makes sense.
This is yeah, we're really messing, bro. Oh man, for sure.
Well, yeah, we'll end it there. Thanks again to everyone watching for rocking with us for another week. This has been the Mostly Bullshit podcast. We'll catch y'all again next week. Hopefully, we'll have some interesting podcasts coming up where we'll be live and in person with each other. Should be fun.
For sure. Yeah. All right, I'll catch y'all soon.
Peace.
Peace.